welcome to everyone here. Welcome to everyone who is online. And my name is Marilyn O'Leary. I'm a practitioner here, and I'm glad to see everybody. Just take a minute and be sure that your devices are turned off. And anything else that might distract you, keep you from giving your full attention to this wonderful service that we're having this morning. And just remember that if you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube, you can check on the icon for closed captioning that will help you if you're having any trouble reading or hearing our service. And every once in a while when there's a tech glitch and we get wonderful video but no audio, I have used that closed captioning. I think it works. I don't know that it's occurring to me, but anyway, you're welcome to use it, and it comes in quite handy. We have a lot of treats this morning, so please stay tuned for all of them. It's my pleasure now to welcome Susan Clark, who will lead us in our opening song. Susan.
Thank you, Marilyn. It's just my choir. I have my back to. That's okay. We communicate telepathically. But anyway, if you'd all stand, and we're going to do our opening song together. I know some of us may be celebrating Hanukkah, and so we're going to do a little Hanukkah song this morning. Okay? And if you want to get in a line and dance the hora, you're welcome. But look, see, Kamatara is ready to lead you. Here we go. Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party and we'll all dance the hora. Gather around the table, we'll give you a treat. Dreidels to play and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. So traditionally we do this faster and faster, right? All right, so we're going to do it maybe at least twice, maybe 3 times. Here we go. Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather around the table, we'll give you a treat. Dreidels to play and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Are you with me? Are you with me? This is where you're going to be. Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather around the table, we'll give you a treat. Dreidels to play and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Repeat those last 2 lines. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Thank you.
Indeed, we are in the season of light. Everywhere you look, people have been celebrating this season in different ways. So, good morning. Welcome, everyone. I am Reverend Gil Olmsted, the spiritual director, and it is my honor to just say thank you to all the folks that make this happen, because it doesn't happen magically. Well, it kind of does, but it people actually show up to be part of that magic. So we have our tech people, we have our bookstore folks who are taking care of things, we have people who've been setting up our food in the back, and this morning we have the special choir. Yes, we do. We have our own choir this morning, which is very exciting. And then we have our practitioners who are stepping up. Marilyn O'Leary you already met. She is going to be doing our vision and mission statement and a reading for us today. And then, wait, where did our other one go? Chris. Oh, Chris is over there with the choir. That's why. And Chris is going to be leading us in our opening and closing prayer. So thank you so much. And Chris, would you come lead us in that prayer? It's a little tricky.
It is. I brought it just a little visual before my prayer. This is a bullet shell that was shot in the Philippines long ago. It is transformed now into a candle holder. Okay. So it is the spiritual season of light. And that light shines in the darkness because it is the physical season of winter. And we know that there is conflict and there is war. There is division and separation, sometimes within our own beings, within our precious relationships, among people who see things differently and have a history, a whole history of experience. And this light is still possible. This light is falling and descending in a special way at this time of year, surrounding us, infilling us, supporting us, leading us, guiding us. And I'm so grateful to be here this morning with these beautiful people and all these wonderful souls that are gathered, who are seeking together to demonstrate more of that light. And so I give thanks for this service because it is a time of joy. It is a time of remembering. It is a time of music and laughter and connection. And so I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for all that went into it and all those who are contributing to it, giving and receiving. And so I just allow this time now to unfold in perfection, and let us say together, and so it is.
So our community here at Rio Grande is made up of lots of different people from lots of different backgrounds, and we are always open to that, but we're based on some basics that I think everybody can kind of hang in there with. First of all, we believe that there's one power, and people call it different things, but it is still the one power. And we believe that our thought is creative, so actually we have a hand in creation. We are actually creating what's happening to us, what's coming back to us. And so we have to be conscious of that, or we get to be conscious of that, maybe is more accurate. We believe that everything is either an expression of love or a call for love. It's only love. That's all there is. That's all there is. And sometimes we're on either end of that ourselves. And finally, we can all, I believe, agree that each one is whole, perfect, and complete. Nothing needs to be added. Nothing needs to be fixed. It's just opportunities for us to grow into the fullness of who we are. So, with that, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We would really like to welcome all of our folks online, and thank you for taking time out today to be with us. And we want to thank anyone who's here with us, maybe for the second or third time, hasn't been with us before. Anybody fall in that category this morning? Oh, there's one, too. Okay, we got a couple brave people with us this morning. See, the really brave people are the ones that come back. That's right. Okay, so we appreciate you. Thank you for coming back. We might have, do we have anyone that's new this morning that wants to say they're new? Okay. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to bless everybody All right? So we're going to do that by rubbing our hands together. And we're just going to bless each other with this and say this to one another. We see you. We know who you really are. You are a unique emanation of spirit. We love you. We appreciate you. And we thank God for you. Welcome to Rio Grande CSL. Woo! All right, Marilyn, you're up.
It's time for our vision and our mission statement, which I should know. Here we go. Our vision, please read with me. Transforming our world with the power of love in action, and our mission, loving all creation through spiritual growth and service, always being true to our highest self. And I have a reading today from this book by Jesse Jennings, who writes a column in the Science of Mind magazine every month. And I think he's just a wonderful man who explains a lot about science of mind in not always the easiest way to understand, but it's always thought-provoking. So this is a book is a series of questions and answers. So the question today that I chose was, nobody can tell me there isn't a right and wrong. And his answer is, okay, I'll just suggest this little experiment. Try focusing on what you consider wrong in yourself and others, and see that multiply. Then try focusing on what you consider right in yourself and others, and watch that multiply. Now, which feels better? In this teaching, we don't cry, peace, peace, where there is no peace, even though that is our reputation. We say that whatever we give our emotional energy to will increase in potency and frequency. Pick something you consider wrong and point all your energies at how wrong it is, and you have a lifelong nemesis. Pick something you consider wrong and point your energies into its positive opposite, and the wrong begins to disintegrate. To do this, you have to be willing to release your own emotional attachments to the wrong, which isn't as obvious as it sounds. Many of us actually enjoy having wrong things around us so we can feel more smug and clever in pointing them out and condemning them. What if we had no enemies? Who would we talk about? What if there were no suffering in the world? We'd have to eat all the blame we've stored up to lay on those we think are responsible for it. There are things in this world I don't like, and I bet you feel the same. Science of my mind in no way sweeps all this under some metaphysical rug. It simply asks, how would you have it be, since it could be any way at all? Then we are invited to fill our minds and hearts with the sunlit reality we say we want, thus calling it forward into manifestation. Think about that.
Well, I'm so proud of these guys. They have worked really hard. I think we had 4 rehearsals, maybe 5, and 4. John corrected me, he said 4. And it's amazing what they've done with those 4 weeks. And we're going to do a song that I wrote to start out with, so this is kind of special for me too. when you write a song, it's not a real song until somebody else knows it, right? All right. This is called Together Stand Strong. And it's kind of designed to be a round. So we're gonna do it for you now. Are we ready, choir? Sure. All right. I told Mike to dim the lights so it'd be more of a theatrical setting. Is that okay with everybody? That's kind of a surprise. Surprise!
Smile.
Here we go. I am, you are, we are, together stand strong. I am, you are, we are, together stand strong. Namaste, 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 namaste. Om Shanti, Om Shanti. I am, you are, we are, together stand strong. I am, you are, we are, together stand strong. Namaste, 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 namaste. Om Shanti, Om Shanti. I am, you are, we are, together stand strong. I am, you are, we are, together stand strong. Namaste, namaste. I am, you are, we are, together stand strong. I am, you are, we are, together stand strong. Namaste, namaste, together stand strong. Namaste, namaste, together stand strong. Namaste, namaste, strong. I am, you are, we are, together stand strong. I am, you are, we are, together stand strong. Namaste, we are, together stand strong. Namaste, we are, together stand strong. Namaste, we are, together stand strong. Strong. I am, you are, we are, together stand strong. Namaste, 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 namaste. Om Shanti, Om Shanti. There they are. We'll be back. We'll be back.
Oh, look, we're going to give you a candy. Yay.
Yeah.
Wow, well, that was amazing. Oh my goodness. And thank you, Susan, and choir and effort and world premiere of an amazing song. And we're so festive here, where everyone's here with bells on. So we're, right? I'm with you, my bell sister. Okay. So very fun. And I love that we can have that kind of fun here and the safe space to have, singing and all the, fun. It's just so much fun that people can have these opportunities together. So thank you for that. And this month, as you know, wow, this is, let me push this down a little bit. Is that a little, there we go. Not getting the breath on the mic. All right. This month, we are talking all about wholeness. And Reverend Gill kicked us off last week thinking about all the stories that we tell ourselves that might be less than whole and the crazy yardsticks we use to see if we measure up, and all the social programming and the marketing and even religions that tell us that we might be less than or not good enough or broken or need to be rescued, saved, fixed, and all that hootenanny, which I am so grateful to say that in this spiritual community, in this teaching, faith, philosophy, way of life, we do not believe that none of that is the truth of our being. And I am so grateful for that, because it's tricky growing up in the midst of that nonsense, but still trying to hold on to our truth. And so there's this cognitive dissonance, to use the fancy schmancy term for it, like, I'm thinking this, but boy, I'm having this experience, and it doesn't match. How do I figure this out? This is a hot mess. That might be the more pedestrian way of saying cognitive dissonance. This is a hot mess. What do I do with that? How do I figure this out? And so when I think of the concept of wholeness, I like to think of the moon. Even if we're only seeing a sliver of the moon, we don't say, oh my gosh, it's broken. There's something wrong. We can't see a piece of the moon. It's gone. Like, oh my gosh, where did it go? We're like, no. We have a fabulous thing, to use the fancy term, called object permanence. We know a thing is there even if you can't see it. And that's why if you ever have little babies around you, it's a fabulous stage when they don't have object permanence. That's why peekaboo is so much fun, because you have literally disappeared, or you can put stuff behind your back and it's no longer there. It's actually kind of a bummer when they get object permanence, because you really can't hide stuff from them anymore. It's a little tricky. But when you think about object permanence, and like, we see only a sliver of the moon, but we know it's still there. Even if there are clouds, we don't lose our minds like, oh my God, we can't see the moon, it's never gonna come back. But we do that about ourselves. When we only see a little sliver of ourselves, this little piece, and then we lose our minds. Like, oh, all I am is this little broken piece, and I'm so awful and terrible, and all the things, or like we about each other, like, oh, this little sliver is like, that's all we see. And forget the whole rest that we know. It's still there whether we can see it or not. We are whole. Our wholeness is intact, whether we can see it or not. So I'm going to make up a new phrase, because former English teachers can do that. It's wholeness permanence. Our wholeness is permanent whether we see it or not. It is there no matter what. So we need to practice our wholeness permanence skills for ourselves and for others. So even when a little piece of us is behind our back, it's still there. It's still there. And to really think we are permanently whole. So the big trick is to see, where am I not seeing the wholeness? And that's tricky, to see where things are in absentia, where something is missing. That's like a skill unto itself. And we need to see it for ourselves, and we need to see it for others. It might be the easiest place to start is probably with others, because we're so hard on ourselves. So let's just take a moment to think about, how might we know and experience wholeness, the wholeness of others. That regardless of conditions, I can know the wholeness of this person. Yeah, that might be tricky. But I've shared with you a little bit before about my amazing dad, whom I just love so much. And when I was growing up, he was an amazing alcoholic, like 4 stars. Wow, he was all in. Like, had that nailed down, was really good at it. But when I was growing up with that, and some of you have grown up with that kind of a household too, it can be really terrifying as a little kid to be in an unwieldy home like that. But somehow, my little kid self knew that that wasn't him. My little kid self compartmentalized, well, there's scary dad and there's lovey dad. And the lovey dad is the real dad. I don't know how I knew that. I just did. Grace of God moment. I don't know what that was, but like I could hang on to that and know that, yeah, like I'm having this whole range of experiences. But this lovey piece of him is the real him. And then I could try to navigate the best I could when we happened to have this little sliver called Scary Dad. But that wasn't the only piece of him. There's so much more to him. And then when I got older, actually just a few years ago, I was talking to a childhood friend. We went to the same, Catholic grade school together. And he said, your dad was so important for me when I was growing up. When my own dad died, your dad spoke to me, walked alongside me, helped me keep my faith, was just instrumental in my life. I was like, my dad? What? Wow. I mean, I had that reaction inside. I didn't have that on the outside, but I was processing like wild on the inside, like the little hamster wheel in my brain was like trying to keep up with the concept of like, wait a minute. We had entirely different experiences of my father, and they were both equally true and equally valid at the same time and equally formative and important and beautiful in all its messy goodness. That's the wholeness that is this person in my life. That's the whole picture, not just the stuff I like. That's the whole picture. And so it's interesting that it made me really open up my view to see the full moon, not just the sliver. And also to acknowledge, it's not like every single experience I ever had with my dad was only this little sliver of scary. There were wonderful things that happened too, and we did beautiful things together. And, and he worked his fingers to the bone to, we had a good life and beautiful things. Like, I can't just throw all that out and pretend that didn't exist because I'm focusing on the sliver. That's not true either. So it really helped me to balance my perspective, to see the full context and to see his wholeness, to do that 360 or that full moon view, or for those of you who are camera people, to open up the aperture and let in more light, to see more of the divine that was present in the situation where that bullet shell becomes the candle. That's its wholeness. The transformation is in my perspective, not in that person, that my heart opened up and that I could see more and more was actually there in this beautiful person, in this experience. And what's wild about that kind of transformation or that whole view is that at that point, when I look back on our relationship, there's nothing to even forgive. It's so beyond that all I have is compassion and love and appreciation and understanding for the journey that my father and I got to share. And we'll still share, whether he's on this plane or the next or whatever is going to happen. Like, we are always going to be connected. And that's the wholeness that is him. Okay, so that was a pretty big, maybe extreme example. I don't know if that's too extreme for you. Like, do you have someone in your life where you're ready to do that? Maybe, because this might be the moment. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? Like if there's a relationship that you really wanted to heal and get to forgiveness and get beyond forgiveness, maybe it's time for that. I don't know. But if that's way too much for you, we could start with an easier step, and that's to bless people. To bless them and to bless them some more. Remember we did that blessing book? And we were blessing everything. And not like the passive-aggressive, snide Southern, oh, bless his heart, which is actually a code word for I'm throwing you under the bus. No, like a sincere, could I bless someone? Could I take a moment to breathe and take a step back and know I am only seeing a sliver of this person? That there's so much more than I could possibly understand about this particular person, this particular moment, the thing I may be experiencing of this person. It's just a tip of an iceberg, a sliver of the moon. So in any given interaction you have this entire week, wouldn't that be wonderful to run the full moon app, to practice your whole permanence skills? This person is whole. There's so much more here than I could possibly know. And just to allow that greater experience that could be there. That's a wonderful thing to practice. All right, so now we're practicing with each other. I wonder if we could maybe begin to practice that with ourselves. I know we are the hardest on ourselves, at least I certainly am. But can I recognize when maybe I am self-deprecating or throwing myself under the bus or judging myself, or I'm feeling less than, like I'm only a fraction of myself? Like that little sliver that's happening right now is the totality of who I am, and I'm losing my mind because this thing and oh, wow, that's that sliver of that moon again, and not recognizing. So can I see or hear when I'm running that less than program? Can I hear the self-talk, or can I see my patterns that I do where I'm grasping or trying to self-justify, or I'm trying to get other people to approve of me, and then I play, oh my gosh, all those crazy reindeer games that I don't want to play that anymore. So can I exercise my wholeness permanence skills for myself? I am always whole, regardless of what I may be seeing or experiencing. So I want to tell you about my glitter rainbow unicorn floaty. Because a few years ago, as some of you know, I was like in every crisis known to man, like medical crisis, marital crisis, family crisis, financial crisis, work crisis, like it was so much fun. And y'all were with me through all of it, so I love you, thank you. But I really was feeling like that beleaguered mother, teacher, wife, where I was just like this deflated inner tube that was just like slashed tires thrown on the side of the road, like, I had nothing left. Everyone had taken their piece of me. I had nothing left. And then Marilyn Kirk says, you should come to Sister Spirit Retreat. And I was like, what? I can't do that. She's like, no, you need to go. I was like, yes, ma'am. So somehow I found a way to get there, and my first women's retreat, and I get there, and I wound up getting there a little early. And so I sat in the room where the first event was about to happen, and this weird thing that wasn't even related to the retreat absolutely changed the direction of my life. And it was the simplest thing. A person didn't even know they were doing it. Marilyn and John, Marilyn's daughter, Reverend Abigail, whom you met here, all she did at that retreat, she literally walked in the room. And that was it. The way that she walked into the room, like she owned the place, her fully inflated self was just like, all right, let's do it, like, raw. And it was wild. It was like my eyes just opened in that moment, and I saw a former version of myself that I no longer was. And it hit me so hard. That whole retreat, I was like, I'm totally deflated. I'm just, thrown to the side of the road. I'm like, you couldn't even use me in the city swimming pool. Like, nothing. And I'm like, no, I am a fully inflated rainbow glitter unicorn floaty of epic proportions. This is my spirit animal. And then, of course, I happened to see this at Michael's, and I was teasing my friend. I texted Yvette. I was like, oh my God, you would not believe what I saw at Michael's. So, of course, she bought it for me and had it ever since, because that's what friends do. But when I realized, wow, I am just seeing this little sliver of myself, as opposed to like, no. How do I embody all of me, and I live not over-inflated, because then it would pop, like too much, and not deflate. Like, how do I live in my wholeness of myself in all of it, in all my messy goodness, that's where I can start to see all of me and all those crazy experiences I had that did feel like, oh, they used me up. No, they didn't. That's part of what makes me stronger and tougher and more resilient and more compassionate and more this and more that. And then when I change my perspective on that, the wholeness that is me is actually very rich and beautiful and powerful and glitter and rainbow and sparkly and awesomeness. So can we do that for ourselves? Can you know that for yourself and show up in all that you bring to the table? And the last way to really live into that wholeness, we've thought about others, we've thought about ourselves, but that doesn't happen in a vacuum. So the next step is there any way that you could develop relationships that foster that sense of wholeness? Which is what we're doing in the spiritual community. I hope that's the experience that you're having. Like, we are practicing that here. How do we have healthy relationships so people can be their whole selves here? And then, can we take that out into the world in other relationships we have, whether, at work or home or other groups that you're in or other things that you do and clients whom you serve and things like, could we have that kind of, like running the full moon app of seeing the wholeness of our children? I know that my children are not seeing that about me, but that's okay. I have enough love to hold that. And someday, they may come around. See what I did there? They may come around. We'll come around to seeing the fullness of it. But I can see the fullness of them, even when I'm getting this really ugly sliver of Lord knows what. But it's okay. I can take a deep breath and see that there's a greater context here. There's more going on than I could understand. And that is, and here's a cool phrase, a holy vantage point. A holy vantage point from which to see each other and the world. And the talk notes for today were written by Reverend Scott Aubrey, and I want to give him a shout out because the talk notes were just sumptuous for this week. So I want to give him credit for this next quote. I had to pull this, it was so amazing. He says, "The one who actively courts the presence and love of spirit has a holy vantage point from which to hold their sisters, brothers, and others. We become soul companions in tune with one another along the journey." Wow, to have a holy vantage point, to be soul companions. Is it possible to do that more than just at church? It's an interesting thought to just test drive what we have going on here out there. So there isn't an out there and an in here, it just is. It's everywhere where we go because that's who we are in our wholeness. And just think, what kind of relationships would allow you and me to bring all of who we are to the table, not just the parts we like or the things we think look good? What makes the safe place for this beautiful choir to get up here and sing their hearts out and to have all these parts and pieces that add up to this beautiful whole? What relationships do you need for that kind of magic to happen? That kind of transformation. And so think about your calendar this week. Do you have even just like one meeting or one encounter that you know is coming up where maybe there might be an opportunity to approach it from a place of wholeness? If you knew that you were wholly expressing the divine, and this person or this event, this thing's wholly expressing the divine, just take a moment to imagine what it might look like with that wholeness lens or viewpoint. It might be a little different than if I just come in, woo, and you're like not thinking about it. So it might be interesting to take a mindful moment before the events. I know we're in the holiday hustle and bustle and all the hootenanny and concerts and parties and family, and I know, like, when we get our family together, woo-wee, we put the fun back in dysfunctional. So I get it. These can be really tricky times right now. But could we take a mindful moment and to remember that we are permanently whole regardless of what we can see. And then eventually we drop the phrase regardless of what we can see. No qualifiers. We just say we are permanently whole. I am exercising my wholeness permanence skills. I can see it, I can be it. There's huge benefits to living like that. Living from a holy vantage point, or running the full moon app that we are seeing, the fullness that is here. Because at that point, I can really experience the fact that I'm okay, and you're okay, and there's nothing wrong. There's nothing that has to be rescued, saved, fixed. There's nothing that's broken. This is the system, and it's doing exactly what the system was designed to do. This divine system, the way the cosmos was ordered, it is okay. And I can know that there's nothing wrong with me. I am not broken or incomplete. So I get all this relief from the guilt, the shame, the blame, the sense of lack, or the need to fight. All of that just falls away. And I can use all my bandwidth to be fully present to the beautiful thing that just is. And that's such a better place from which to live. That we get to share this journey in grace. And from there, I can have a clear vision of what's going on. I know there's more than just the sliver. I have the vision of the whole moon of what's happening. And with that, I can have so much more peace in a season that can feel so chaotic. I still can be experiencing peace, knowing the wholeness is there. So here's a closing quote from Reverend Scott Aubrey. Oh, he did such a beautiful job on these notes. He says, "We are each a field of intelligence in which we see the universe and every point of life in it as an unbroken wholeness. All individuals and every relationship, as well as all events, are interconnected, mutually interdependent, and a pattern of perfection. We are all a luminous mystery in which the entire universe rises and falls and rests." A luminous mystery. Isn't that amazing? The moon is a luminous mystery. You are a luminous mystery. We are this luminous mystery together. So I hope this week you're going to remember the moon. No matter how much you're seeing of it, of each other, of ourselves, run the full moon app. Know you are permanently whole, and that all is well. Namaste. All right. So we're going to go to prayer, my unicorn floaty and myself. All right, and practitioners, thank you for surrounding the room, knowing that you are held in prayer in the arms of the divine at this moment. And knowing that there is just one loving source, this sacred essence that is expressing in all of life as we know it and even beyond what we can understand, this luminous mystery is expressing as each person, each place, each experience, all of it is the divine. There's no place where God is not. And because that is true, I know that I am aligned with the divine that is the presence and power within. You are, we are that expression of the one loving source. And that one loving source is never less than, and is never broken, and never needs to be fixed. God is never just a little sliver. God is the full, the complete, the whole. I am the full, the complete, the whole picture. Each one of us is the full, the whole, the complete package, the whole deal. The macrocosm in the microcosm, the drops of water in the ocean. Each one of us is that hologram of the divine moving in the here and now. And I claim for each one of us a deep remembering, a deep knowing of who and what we are. And as that runs underneath everything we do, the conversations we have, the way we relate to each other, the experiences and events, and all the stuff that's going on in our lives, we are expanding and deepening our expression of the divine, our expression of ourselves, and our relationships are deepening and expanding. And our ability to see the wholeness of ourselves and each other is deepening and expanding. And then the divine that's just waiting to be recognized is seen all over again. And that is the transformation. That is the miracle. That knowing, that understanding, that is the essence of love. And so I'm grateful for this time together to remember who and what we are. I'm grateful for this teaching that helps us align with principle and to shed those things that harm us or no longer serve us. I'm so grateful for each one of us as expressions of the divine, these beautiful parts that add up to this gorgeous whole that is so sacred and blessed and bountiful and beautiful. And I'm so grateful for the spiritual community, the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. I know that this organization and these people are so blessed and bountiful, the way that we support each other and express the support out into the world in beautiful ways, and has an exponential reach beyond what we could even imagine. And so knowing that we are truly in the arms of the divine, I give thanks knowing that all is well, and so it is. Nope. Oh, you get to do
that. So we get an opportunity now to give to one another, to give to the community, to be a part of the community. And we're going to celebrate that in a few minutes. But right now, we're just going to take a moment. If you have your offering with you, we're going to say our blessing for it. So say with me, I am abundant, and I give from my abundance. I am prosperous, and I give from my prosperity. I am blessed, and I give from my blessings. My blessings of spirit are fecundant as the stars, and I give and receive generously. And so it is. And so we take this opportunity to give and receive. There'll be information across your screen if you're at home for how to do that. We have baskets up at the front. Watch out, the choir may get you. We're going to have opportunity to hear another fine song from them while we do this. So thank you so much.
So I have to say a little bit about this next song we're going to do. It's a new thought on the Little Drummer Boys song, rewritten by our own Gilbert Arvelos. And Gilbert, if you could please stand up from the bookstore. Right there is Gilbert. Yes. And when I was just starting to think about the choir, Gilbert came up to me and he said, "Hey, I've got this idea," and we based this loosely on an arrangement from a band called For King and Country. But Gilbert, if not for you, this would not have happened. So thank you very much for your creativity. Okay. And I just want to say something, another thing too. This came up on my Facebook feed, and I sent it out to my choir members because I think it's just so cool. It says, "The first breath that a choir or orchestra takes together, a breath filled with focus, intention, and emotion, a breath unified for no other reason than to make something beautiful together. That is the reason we do what we do." Okay. All right. Are we ready?
Oh, yeah.
My piano is just like totally off. That's interesting. That will help. Okay. I'm clueless.
Susan, it looks like the plug on the end is not plugged in.
Golly.
Thank you, Victor.
Oh, that wasn't all the way in.
All right, are we ready? Am I ready? I don't know if I am. I never know. Okay. So eyes on me. Okay. pa-ra-pa-pum-pum. Then Spirit smiled at us, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum, on our drum. Hey, 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 drum. Hey, 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 Very nice. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Gilbert. We did it. We did it. Yay, yay, yay. All righty. I'm going to introduce these guys as they're going off stage. This is John Kirk. Watch the cables. This is Pat Justice, Nancy Bowers, the gorgeous Bob Duvall, Linda Filion, Lisa Kerr, Sherry Noon, Deborah Diesel, Chris Duvall, Gracie Woods, and Cheryl Ray. Thank you guys so much for your hard work. Yes.
Wow. Wow. Can you say wow? Wow. Yeah. Very nice. All right. Well, I think we've blessed our gifts, but we will just take a moment and officially bless our gifts, because that was truly a blessing. That is the picture of what all of this is about. That as we give to one another, we support one another in so many ways. And so I'm grateful for the gifts of money, and I'm grateful for the gifts of energy, and the gifts of love, and the gifts of time, and all of it that makes this community support itself and one another and reach further beyond itself. So for all of this, I'm grateful. And I say, and so it is.
So it is.
So it is my honor today to take a moment, and we have been running our Join In 2024 program, our partnership program, which Sherry Noon has been instrumental in helping put together. Thank you, Sherry. Actually, she was more than helping. She was instrumental in making it happen. So let's clarify that. What I'd like to do is, this is officially our last week was last week. However, you will have an opportunity later to still sign up. So it's okay. Don't sweat yet. But I want to honor the people that have come forward and been willing to become partners so far. And in honor of that, I asked a couple of people to say a word or two about why they chose to do that, or how it makes them feel, or something about their process. So I'm going to start with Cheryl. Cheryl Ray, would you come forward? Cheryl is one of our new partners for 2024. Thank you.
Can't do it in just 2 words, Gil. You just can't, okay? Part of the reason that I decided to become a partner or continue being a partner is because this is my family. Family works together. Family works as a team. I give my tithes. Don't give much more than that because I got to watch my budget, but you know. But I give my talents, and I give my time. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. My brain lost it there. I give my talents and my time. You know, I love running sound. I love being a part of helping in the kitchen. I love to sing with these people, and I just love to be a part of this. So that's why I'm a partner, because I want to be an active part of this family, not just somebody that's complacent, sitting around waiting for everybody else to get it done. So that's me. Okay.
Shimon. And so now Shimon is going to come forward and say a couple words about, actually, Shimon's got a 15-minute slot. We agreed yesterday. Yeah, okay, no, he doesn't. He's going to say a couple words. Thank you, Shimon.
Well, Gil told me he was going to have me come up. And he said, you got 2 minutes to say why you got here. And I went, I can't do that. I needed half hour. And he went, took it down to 15 minutes. Now I'm back to 2 minutes again. So I think I'll just do the best I can. It's the philosophy that is here. I'm totally anti-religion. And Susan, my beautiful wife, started coming here pretty regularly and volunteering and such. And one of her complaints was, we don't do things together. And I thought, well, maybe I ought to go to the center with her and get myself out of hot water. But anyway, it worked out just beautiful. Susan had me playing my horn, so I got to toot my own horn once in a while. That was fun. But I tell you, I thought to myself, I'm retired 10 years now, and I worked in mental health for 37 years. And you were talking about seeing the wholeness. Well, I was confronted with teenagers and families and such that had horrendous trauma in their lives. And with that came tremendous behaviors that I had to deal with 5 days a week, 200 days a year. And if I didn't see the whole person, the whole beyond the handicap, beyond the conditioning, beyond the environmental trauma that the kids that I dealt with had gone through, I would not have lasted 37 years. In fact, I probably would have gone crazy myself. So it was seeing the whole person. And for some reason, I've had that gift to see. I just feel the whole person, and whatever the stuff is coming at me from that person is just stuff, and I don't see that. I see beyond it, and I got stories, but I can't tell them no. And so what I did is I volunteered to start outreach for families, parents, and teens who are having problems to come in and let me help them, maybe facilitate and help them get through it. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's why I became a partner because of that. And also I wrote a book, and this book is called Ishbam, and it's pretty much my philosophy. Please read it, buy it. It's in the bookstore, yes. And I've had people say, yeah, I've read your book. And then they start talking about it, and they didn't read my book. They were just telling me they were in my book. It was sweet. I thought, oh, you bless your heart. So anyway, I love you all. I'm here, and thank you.
Thank you, Shimon. That was great. Oh, my goodness. So we have one more person that's going to come up, and that would be the lovely Maria Dion. And she has a few words for us this morning.
Thanks, Reverend Gill. Just being here this morning is like why I'm a partner and why Victor and I are partners. What an amazing talk, amazing reminders. I think Reverend Kamatara has a book in her. I hope she does, possibly. But just, I think if you know me, you know that that I think of money as a way to steward my energy, So we all think that we only have a certain amount, but it's really a whole flow that goes through our lives. And, just the way we're taught here to steward our thoughts and our beliefs, we can also steward our money. And, a cash flow statement tells a lot about a person, what we value, what we spend our time doing, the things that we have, things like that. And so it just is right to me to be a partner and to include RGCSL in my output because that it's so important to me. You know, the word philanthropy means love of humanity. And, you know, this place is teaching me to do that more and more each day. So that's all. That's why. Thanks.
Thank you so much. So we have a lot of folks, 29 or 28 people that officially signed up to be partners this year. And if you're here, we'd love to have you just stand up so we can thank you for your willingness to do that. Are you willing to stand up? All right, here we go. All right, thank you so much. So, any one of these folks can tell you about why it's important to them. So thank you so much for doing that. We had a nice gift for you, and it's not here. So you will have to pick them up later, so that's why we're not having you come forward. However, everyone is invited afterwards. We're going to have a little celebration. Everybody gets a hot dog just to celebrate that we're a community and we like to come together and have fun together, okay? So there you go. Thank you so much. And so I believe we are sign up today. Yes, we'll have available people working with the computers in the back to help you if you want to sign up to be a partner today. And of course, all the information is always on the website. So we are ready. Yeah, well, that's next. Where's our announcement? Is that Tamara? No? Grace? Who is it? Norm. I thought it was Norm. Norm. Who knew? Oh my gosh, it's Norm. Wow, great job.
They called me back. Did you miss me? Hey, I thought I had a 15-minute slot, but okay, I understand we need to keep these things short. So here it is, real quick. First of all, where do I get the app for the moon? Okay. Well, that was a lovely message there. It's just great. And, you know, the drummer, boy, that's my favorite Christmas song. But the way you put it together, oh, I want those lyrics. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, just three things real quick here. The gala is next week, the 16th. Michael McPherson and Hilda are making that happen. So if you have any questions about it, go back and see them. They're going to have an announcement during the food thing. So be sure you check that out. The healer for this week is Susan Solari. Where is Susan? Stand. There she is. That's the lady to see. And don't forget, the Christmas Eve service is not going to be Christmas Eve night. It's going to be during the regular service. So be sure you check that out and don't come down here that evening. Hey. No Christmas Eve, that's what I'm saying. No Christmas Eve evening, but it's going to be the regular service that they're going to have the Christmas, in the morning. Morning of Christmas Eve. So there's going to be an election or something like that right after this. In there or right now? So that's all my announcements for today. Hey, I'll see you sometime down, maybe next year. Hannah Dawson, the vice president of the board, is going to come up and do an announcement about an election. Hannah Dawson. This is my daughter, in case you didn't know that.
Hello, everybody. I'm your vice president. During our last election, we were so excited about our new board members, we forgot about our current board member. And so Mark is up for his reinstatement into term. So he's wanting to stay on for another 3 years. So we just want to get your guys' blessing and acknowledgement that that's okay. So for all of you in favor? Yeah. Any opposed to having Mark stay with us on the board? Okay, great. Thank you so much. And then on that note, we have an exciting announcement from our president, Mark.
So there's been a real sense of abundance and energy going around here, and Gil and I are happy to share some news with you that has been in the process for the last couple weeks, and will be available during the break to answer any questions. We want to thank Kamatara for the introduction. She introduced the minister of Westside Unity to us, and they're in an untenable position. They have no heat. They have no air conditioning. Their landlord jacked up the rent and is refusing to do the repairs. And so they were looking for a new home. And so we've been in conversations. Nothing's been formally arranged. We're waiting to hear feedback from you today. But we had a meeting with their minister, Debbie, who's amazing, and their board president on Friday, Chris, yep. And we are in the stages of inviting another community to come and share our space and our home. What that will mean for us is that because we're both going to be meeting on Sunday mornings, and so we would be adjusting our service to 9:30, and there'll be a joint social hour afterwards. Gil's going to talk a little bit more about the potential of a partnership and stuff that can happen with all of this. For our benefit, they have offered us $1,500 a month, which, given their current situation, is quite a bit. Yep. And that will bring $18,000 into in addition for our budget next year. We have the Circles office, which used to be Circles, but is now empty and available. It's 4 times the space that their current minister has. So she's overjoyed. She'll have room to with elbows and all that. So we're excited. We have a board meeting tonight, and again, myself and any the board members who are here, Hannah, Tamara, and I, and Sherry. If you have any thoughts or questions, and who did I miss? Oh, hi, Doug. Okay. So we'd like to move forward on it. They'd actually like to be here starting on or about January 1st, and we may even have a joint service with them to celebrate the new year. So I'm just going to briefly to the possibilities.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. So this is really super, super exciting, and we've had some great discussions and realizing how totally in alignment we are. What you should know is that our official Minister of Collaboration is Reverend Kamatara, and she has been speaking there on occasion, and so everybody there is familiar with her, which is a great bridge. And anyway, the vision is endless of what's possible. So we are just, Rev Deb and I are really excited about working together and seeing where that can go, what things we can work together on doing, and how we can also support each community in being more of what it is. And when they were here the other day, they were so excited just at the amount of energy and activity here that they felt like that would already support their congregation. So it's a great opportunity for us to serve. It's a great opportunity for them to serve us and for all of us to serve together. So there you go. If you have any questions or thoughts or things, please share them with me and with the board. Thanks so much.
Well, this has been quite a morning. Together we give thanks for the divine leadership that is bringing so many parts together into that one beautiful whole. We saw a demonstration of that this morning through all the voices of the choir coming together in a beautiful rendition. We were reminded to run the app of the moon throughout the background of our lives this week. And so I'm just so grateful for this service, for this place, for these people, for our leadership, for all that is coming together, into the expression of oneness, wholeness, goodness, light. And so I release this morning, allowing us to go forward into our weeks with love, with joy, with peace. And so it is.
Thank you, Chris. If you would please stand, we'll have our closing song, which we did this last week. We're going to do it a couple more weeks, I think. We'll see what happens, being the holiday and everything. Okay, song by Michael Gott. Some of you may be familiar with Michael Gott's work. He's wonderful. He's actually the minister in Atlanta, I think, of a Unity, or anyway. Yeah, okay. I'll give you a little intro. Follow me, love can move. Love can move the world as the moon in the sky moves the sea. Love can cause the wars to cease. Love can move this world to peace. It's a tide that begins with you and me. Love can move the world as the warmth of the sun moves the trees. Feel the wind of love increase as we move this world to peace. Come love the world with me. Come love the world with me. Happy Sunday.
Totally did the best ever. It was the best we ever. I would think we support, so maybe let's
Okay.
Sweetheart.
Oh, you're welcome.
You did an amazing job.
Thank you.